Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. Today's proceedings are appalling. Two defendants are charged with multiple counts related to digital child exploitation, and the woman is charged with indecent contact with an animal. Yep, exactly what you're thinking. And if they weren't already racing to hell, it's alleged they viewed the hard drive content together during their personal activities. Ew. Let's watch how the court addresses it all.
Ms. O'Brien, good morning. Mr. Swearingen, good morning. Ms. O'Brien, you're accused of, Ms. O'Brien, let me start with you. You're accused of 11 counts of possession of child pornography. Now, Mr. Mitchell, it looks to me like the complaint in her case says possession of child pornography in the body of the complaint. It does. But on the first page of the complaint, it says possession of obscene material, but it uses the possession of child pornography statute. Is that the way you read it too?
It is, Your Honor. They're charged under that statute for possession of child pornography. And as Ms. Jeffcoat has informed me, Special Agent Nichols will amend that complaint to reflect the proper charge description.
Thank you. So there's no obscene's never mentioned in that statute anywhere. The word obscene is not even there. I looked at it this morning. So you're accused of 11 counts of possession of child pornography. In addition to that, you're accused of 1 count of knowingly engaging in sexual contact with an animal. In that count, again, the officer has the wrong statute number. This time it's wrong in the body and correct in the first page. So it's the opposite, inverse of the first one. So one of them is right in the body and wrong in the heading, in the first page. The second charge is vice versa. So there's probable cause, but there's obviously some errors in the complaint, which is unusual for this particular agent. This special agent's very thorough normally, but in this case, there are those errors. So what I'm finding probable cause for is 11 counts of possession of child pornography and 1 count of knowingly engaging in sexual contact with an animal. Ms. O'Brien, are you married to Mr. Swearingen?
No, sir.
Okay. Let me tell you about your charges, Mr. Swearingen. You're accused of 11 charges of possession of child pornography. The complaint is right in your case, and you're accused of 1 count of possession of an image depicting sexual act with an animal. That's a 3rd-degree felony. The same as Ms. O'Brien's engaging in sexual contact with an animal. That's a 3rd-degree felony. All of the possession of child pornography counts are 2nd-degree felonies because there's more than 10, and under Florida law, there's an enhancement that increases the degree of the crime if there's more than 10 images or videos. So let me see if Mr. McDaniel or Mr. Mitchell have any additional information before I address your bonds. Mr. McDaniel, anything?
Your Honor, I just was not very clear on the possession charges on Miss O'Brien because, when I read it, I thought it said that they were in his pocket, in the Mr. Swearingen's pocket. So I'm not sure how they come up with possession by her. With the email address they described in the complaint, it's all his email. I mean, it presumably is his email address. It's his name. I'm not sure how they made the connection to her having possession, but
I think that's a very valid point. I forgot to mention that, Mr. McDaniel, and I got that from this one sentence in the complaint. O'Brien offered that her and Swearingen had downloaded the videos from a TOR website. I don't know what a TOR website is.
Tor browsing is kind of like something they use to access the dark web. It's like an onion routing process that they use to access it.
From a TOR website and onto a computer prior to moving them to the hard drive. According to O'Brien, she and Swearingen used the hard drive to view the videos during sex. So the officer is saying that she has admitted to be involved in the downloading process. Mr. McDaniel, I felt that was enough for probable cause. Anything else, Mr. McDaniel?
Nothing except Jake's going to have to give me some lessons on where this dark web is. I've been always curious where it's at. I don't even know where it's at. I hear these young people talking about it, and I'm like, what is a dark web?
But I have no idea. Jake has it on his phone, I believe, but I have no idea.
He knows about it. I know he's young, but I don't know anything about it.
Look up the YouTube channel, Some Ordinary Gamers. He goes into detail about that there.
I never heard of it till today, but until I signed the warrants in these cases. So anything for bond purposes on either individual, Mr. McDaniel?
No, Your Honor.
And Mr. Mitchell?
Yes, Your Honor. I did want to let you know that Mr. Swearingen is currently on probation in case number 21677CF. So We
Wow.
would request a hold for 10 days to revoke, but nonetheless, for both Ms. O'Brien and Mr. Swearingen, given the description of the videos that were listed in the complaint, we're going to ask for a high bond for the both of them.
Thank you.
And from what I was told, I believe Special Agent Nichols has also said that there may be more charges pending or coming.
Thank you. And I missed that. Thank you for catching that on Mr. Swearingen's on probation. I did not catch that. It doesn't look like he's on probation for uttering forged instruments, perhaps possibly a grand theft. Yeah, looks like he was. So, let me start with Miss O'Brien, since she's first on our list. Mr. O'Brien, on those 11 counts, there's a second degree felonies, ma'am. Your bond's gonna be $25,000 on each of those charges. That would be $275. Help me out, Stacy, is that right? $275,000 bond. The knowingly engaging in sexual contact with an animal would be a $5,000 bond. Ms. O'Brien, your total bond is $280,000, ma'am. I am taking into account the very, very, very young ages of at least some of the alleged victims allegedly depicted in these videos as young as infants. So you've got a $280,000 bond. You have a condition of no contact with any animal. And let me explain that. The condition on the sexual contact says if you're convicted of that charge, that's a mandatory condition that's in the state law. So what I'm doing is, as a condition of your bond, you can have no contact with any animal, none whatsoever, any kind of animal at all, because of the serious accusation that you're accused of. Ms. O'Brien, you're also going to have a condition of no contact with Mr. Swearingen, given that you're not legally married, given that you're accused of doing this crime jointly and together, you can have no contact with him. Ms. O'Brien, you will get to use the phone in a few minutes, ma'am, to try to post the bond. Contact friends or family, whoever you wish, ma'am. If you post the bond, you'll be released. If you're not able to post the bond, ma'am, the public defender's office will be in contact with you at the jail. And Ms. O'Brien, this is a cash or surety bond. Ma'am, that means you don't have to come up with all the money. You can go through a bondsman. Ms. O'Brien, don't talk about what you've been charged with. But if you have a question, and if it's a question I can answer, I will try. Do you have any questions?
No, sir.
All right. Have a good day, ma'am. Mr. Swearingen, I'm going to set you a higher bond. The reason you're going to get a higher bond is because you're already on probation. I always set a higher bond for people who are on probation. So instead of your bond being $25,000 each on those 11, it's going to be $50,000 each. And instead of your bond being $5,000 on the third degree felony, it's going to be $10,000. So that would be $550 plus 10, $560 if my math is right. Mr. Goodson's our math expert. He says 560 is right on my math. $560,000 bond. You've got the same conditions or similar conditions to Ms. O'Brien. Actually, no contact with, you don't have a condition. I don't think I could put a condition of no contact with any animal on his when he's not accused of being the perpetrator, but I can do a condition of no contact with her. You don't have any bond for 10 days because you're on probation. I'm going to give the probation office 10 days to see if they're going to file a violation. So you've got a total bond today, a $560,000 bond. Cash or surety, no contact with Ms. O'Brien, no bond for 10 days to see what happens with the VOSP. Mr. Mitchell, you already have that case number and everything you need on the VOSP?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Swearingen, I'll see you in 10 days. We'll see if they have a warrant or not on the VOSP. Mr. Swearingen, do you have any questions, sir?
No, sir.
All right, sir. I wish you the best.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
When your life decisions result in charges this disturbing, there's no spin that can save you. What has to break in your brain to decide this will be your life? And how do two people manage to be on the exact same page when that book should have been burned? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more gripping courtroom moments. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one.